5 minutes. This is N4LDP.
This is the W0BLK controller. The state link is up.
Good evening and welcome to the South Dakota Link Net. This net meets every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. The purpose of the net is for emergency preparedness, handling of traffic, making amateur-related announcements, and operational testing of the SD Link system. Please give your call sign even if you're just testing your ability to access the SD Link system. It is not okay to kerchunk, and it is very rude and inconsiderate to monitoring stations. It is also illegal according to FCC rules. Temporary individual crossband repeat with the SD Link is highly discouraged, and any permanent linking is not permitted by the South Dakota Amateur Radio Council. Stations that use APRS should be sure they are not beaconing when they are on the SD Link. Operators of radios using the APRS have to make sure that the automatic beaconing is turned off when they were not on the frequency. Unfortunately, it is easy to forget to do this, so the safest to use a dedicated APRS and never move it off the APRS frequency. Please feel free to ride you, but please observe common courtesy to all and leave room for emergencies and braking stations. Your net control at the station tonight is November 4, Lima, Delta Bravo, Lance, and I'm located in Sioux Falls. Break. The SD Link consists of 14 repeaters which use the 146.2 tone except for Salem, UHF hub, and the Sioux Falls UHF which use a tone of 103.5. The coverage is from Minnesota to Wyoming on Interstate 90 and from Iowa to north of Watertown on Interstate 29. On most Wednesday nights, the Black Hills repeaters at Rapid City and Bear Mountain will be a part of the system during the net, extending coverage into Nebraska and Wyoming. The SD Link is owned and operated by the South Dakota Amateur Radio Council. To make sure your entire call sign is received when you check in, key up, and then please wait 2 full seconds before giving your call sign twice, once normally and once phonetically, as there is some delay across the whole state with this many link sites. If you are interested in being a net control on this net, contact Steve, Kilo Bravo 0, Whiskey Sierra Victor, the SD Link manager. Contact him by email, the SD Link email group at sdlink@groups.io, or simply on this net. The SD Link has a webpage at sdlink.org where you can find information on this South Dakota Link repeater system, lists of all the clubs in the state, along with their websites and more information. This repeater system does take a substantial effort and money to maintain, which is done by relatively few dedicated individuals. Any contribution towards keeping the SD Link operational is much appreciated. You can do this by directly contacting the South Dakota Amateur Radio Council's treasurer, Whiskey 0 Sierra Delta, or through PayPal. The information is available on the website's homepage. Now taking any traffic or announcement or bulletins for the net. Those stations only. Please call now. Hearing no traffic announcements or bulletins, we will begin with check-ins, and I believe Aiden, who ran a great net last week, started West River, so we'll move back East River and start in Watertown this evening. Those stations wishing to check in from the Watertown repeater, please call now.
Kilo Echo 0, Hotel Mike Sierra, Chad Watertown. Kilo Echo 0, Hotel Mike Sierra, clear.
And a copy, Kilo Echo 0, Hotel Mike Sierra. Good evening, Chad. Thank you for checking in. Any other stations wishing to check in this evening from Watertown, please call now. Hearing none, moving to the Toronto repeater. Calling those stations wishing to check in from Toronto, please call now.
Charlie, KE0WPC, Aiden near Toronto on the Toronto repeater.
Charlie 0 Foxtrot Lima Kilo, KC0FLK, Harlan from Bruce, mobile.
I picked up 2, Kilo Echo 0, Whiskey Papa Charlie, good evening Aiden, and also Kilo Charlie 0, Foxtrot Lima Kilo, good evening Harlan, sounding great in your mobile. Any other stations wishing to check in from Toronto, please call now. Last call. Any stations from Toronto, please call my control. Hearing none, moving to Coleman. Now calling stations wishing to check in from the Coleman repeater, please call now.
Kilo Echo 0, Whiskey Papa Charlie, KE0WPC, Aiden near Toronto on Coleman. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Alpha Sierra Tango, they have 0, no traffic.
We did have a double, and I was able to copy Kilo Echo 0, Whiskey Papa Charlie, Aiden, thank you, and also Kilo Foxtrot 0, Alpha India Tango, good evening Todd. There was another station in there as well, and if that station could call again, please.
Net control, please copy KB0WSC, Kilo Bravo 0, Whiskey Sierra Victor, Steve in Sioux Falls on the Coleman repeater.
Kilo Bravo 0, Whiskey Sierra Victor, thank you Steve. Any other stations wishing to check in this evening from Coleman, please call now. Kilo Bravo 0, Echo Charlie Oscar, good evening Chan. A little bit down in towards the noise this evening, but it is readable, and thank you for checking in on Coleman. We'll now move to the Sioux Falls repeater, and we will take check-ins from the Sioux Falls UHF.
Whiskey 0, Zulu Mike Lima, W0, ZML, Adam in Sioux Falls. KC0G, Kilo Delta 0.
Picked up 2, and I believe there was another station in there as well, but I have Whiskey 0, Zulu Mike Lima, good evening Adam, and Kilo Delta 0, Tango Echo, good evening Steve, good to hear you sir. Next stations please, on the Sioux Falls UHF.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Charlie Tango Lima, KF0, CTL, this is Rick in Sioux Falls.
Kilo Delta 0, Uniform, KD0, UU, Tim in Sioux Falls.
Kilo Fox 0, Charlie Zulu Delta, KF0, CZD, Chad, Southwest Sioux Falls, thanks for doing the net. Kilo Delta 2, Uniform Hotel Papa, KD2 UHP, Jim in T, QRU, thanks for the net.
And we'll take a break there. We have Kilo Foxtrot 0, Charlie Tango Lima, good evening Rick, good to hear you sir. Kilo Delta 0, Uniform, good evening Tim. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Charlie Zulu Delta Chad, thank you. And Kilo Delta 2, Uniform Hotel Papa, Jim from T, thank you. Any more stations from the Sioux Falls UHF, please?
Bravo 0 Whiskey, Sugar Whiskey, KB0WSW Tony on the west side of town.
Net Control, this is KB0WSV. Kilo Bravo 0 Whiskey Sierra Victor, Steve in Sioux Falls on the Sioux Falls repeater.
Kilo Foxtrot 0 Golf, Foxtrot Sierra, KF0 GFS in Southwest Sioux Falls, Lynn.
And for ID purposes, this is November 4, Lima Delta Bravo, calling the Wednesday night South Dakota Link Net. And on this go-around, we have Kilo Bravo 0, Whiskey Sierra Whiskey, Tony, thank you, sir. Kilo Bravo 0, Whiskey Sierra Victor, Steve, and Kilo Foxtrot 0, Golf Foxtrot Sierra. Always great to hear you, Lynn, thank you. Any more stations on the Sioux Falls UHF, please?
Kilo Charlie 0 Victor, Hotel, Yankee, KC0 BHY, Ryan Mobile.
We have Kilo Charlie 0 Victor, Hotel Yankee. Good evening, Ryan, sounding great. Thank you for checking in. Last call, Sioux Falls UHF, please. Hearing none, moving to Turkey Ridge. Calling those stations wishing to check on the Turkey Ridge repeater. Please call now.
Foxtrot 0, Kilo Quebec Bravo, KF0, KQB, Bill and Tyndall.
Foxtrot 0 Lima Zulu Oscar, KF0 LZO Dan and Trip. Net Control, please copy KB0WSV, Kilo Bravo 0 Whiskey Sierra Victor, Steve in Sioux Falls on Turkey Ridge.
And Net Control copies Kilo Foxtrot 0, Kilo Quebec Bravo, Bill, good to hear you, sir. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Lima Zulu Oscar, good evening, Dan. And Kilo Bravo 0, Whiskey Sierra Victor, Steve. Next stations, please, on Turkey Ridge. Please call now. Last call, stations Turkey Ridge, please. Hearing none, moving to Salem. Those stations wishing to check in on the Salem repeater, please call now.
Whiskey 0 Sierra Delta, headed Salem, clear.
And acknowledge Whiskey 0, Sierra Delta Ed, thank you, sir. And Kilo Bravo 0, Whiskey Sierra Victor, Steve. Any other stations on the Salem repeater, please? Hearing none, let's move to Crandall Hill. Calling stations on the Crandall Hill repeater, please.
Net Control, this is Kilo Charlie 0, Whiskey November Golf, KC0 WNG, Doug at Miller with no traffic.
Kilo Charlie 0, Whiskey November Golf, good evening, Doug, good to hear you, sir. Any other stations on Crandall Hill this evening? Hearing none, let's move to Washington Springs, please call now.
Whiskey 0 Golf Kilo Echo. Ron and Mitchell W0GK is clear.
Net control. Kilo Delta 0. Yankee November Oscar. Par west of Harrison. KD0 YNO. Clear.
And I copy Whiskey 0 Golf Kilo Echo. Good evening, Ron. Good to hear you, sir. And also Kilo Delta 0 Yankee November Oscar. Good evening, Harv. Next stations, please, Washington Springs. Hearing none, moving to Reliance. Those stations wishing to check in on the Reliance repeater, please call now.
November 0, November Papa Oscar, Greg near Pier on the Reliance repeater with no traffic, and 0 in PO.
November 0, November Papa Oscar. Good evening, Greg. Good to hear you. Last call for Reliance, please. Hearing none, let's move to Pier. Those stations wishing to check in on the Pier repeater, please call now.
Good evening, Lance in the net. Whiskey Bravo 0 Romeo Juliet Hotel. Greg on the Pier machine. Negative traffic tonight. WB0RJH, thanks for taking the net. KD0S Kilowatt Delta 0 Sierra, Jim and Pier clear.
And a copy of Whiskey Bravo 0 Romeo Juliet Hotel. Good evening, Greg. Good to hear you, sir. And Kilo Delta 0 Sierra. Good evening, Jim. Good to hear you as well, sir. Last call for stations off the Pier repeater, please. Hearing none, let's move to Murdo. Those stations wishing to check in off the Murdo machine, please call now.
This is Alpha Alpha 0 Lima Yankee. Tam near Pier on the Myrtle machine. No traffic. AA0LY.
Alpha Alpha 0 Lima Yankee. Good evening, Tam. Good to hear you, sir. Last call for the Murdo repeater, please. Hearing none, let's move to Phillip. Calling stations wishing to check in on the Phillip repeater, please.
Kilo Echo 0 Quebec India Bravo. Mike in Piedmont on the Phillip machine. KE0QIB.
Kilo Echo 0 Quebec India Bravo. Good evening, Mike. Good to hear you. Any other stations for the Phillip repeater, please call now. Hearing none, let's move to the Rapid City UHF. Calling those stations wishing to check in tonight on the Rapid City UHF repeater, please call now.
Fox 0 Lima Golf Golf. KF0 LGG Paul on the 9-4 Rapid City. No traffic.
Kilo Charlie 0 Juliet Golf Echo. And City on the Rapid City UHF.
ID purposes, this is November 4, Lima Delta Bravo, calling the South Dakota Link Wednesday night net. And I also copy Kilo Foxtrot 0, Lima Golf Golf. Good evening, Paul. Thank you, sir. And Kilo Charlie 0, Juliet Golf Echo, Andy. Thank you, sir. Next stations, please, with the Rapid City UHF. Hearing none. Now calling stations with the Rapid City VHF repeater, please.
AG0, AYF, Delbert, Rapid City, on the 9-4, VHF, no traffic.
Oscar Victor on the 9-4 machine, Rapid City, no traffic. Ski Victor 9, Mike, WD9M, Somerset, on the Rapid City machine, no traffic. P80, ZIE, that's Kilo Delta 0, Zulu, India Papa, Mike, and Black Hawk on the Rapid repeater.
Let's take a break there, and I did miss a station. It was operator error on my end. The station sounded great, but I did copy Kilo Charlie 0, Juliet Golf Echo. Andy, I believe we already had him. Kilo Delta 0, Alpha Yankee November Delbert, Whiskey Victor 0, Mike, John. I'm sorry, correction, Whiskey Victor 9, Mike. Mark Somerset. And Kilo Delta 0, Zulu, India, Papa. There was another station. That station could call again, please.
Echo 5, Oscar Victor, name here is Dave. Delta Alpha Victor Echo on the 9-4 machine, no traffic.
Dave, I do apologize. My fingers and my hammers are my logging program. Again, with your call sign, please. I do apologize. Net control calling the station identified as Dave. Was that Alpha Foxtrot 0, Delta Juliet? Is that correct?
Echo 5, Oscar Victor, AE5OV, no traffic.
Okay, thank you. The AO was getting cut off. I do apologize. Thanks for your patience. Alpha Echo 5, Oscar Victor, thank you. Calling next station, please, on the Rapid City VHF. Hearing none, let's move to Terry Peak. Calling those stations on the Terry Peak machine, please.
Kilowatt 0, Zulu, November, Zulu, Zeb on the Terry Peak machine, no traffic, K0, CNZ. C0WC, Kilo Charlie 0, Whiskey Charlie on Terry Peak machine.
And I copy Kilo 0, Zulu, November, Zulu, Zeb, good to hear you, and Kilo Charlie 0, Whiskey, Charlie, Jerry. Next stations, please, on Terry Peak. Hearing none, let's move to Bear Mountain. Calling those stations wishing to check in tonight from Bear Mountain, please.
Zero, Golf, Victor, KS,
copy 3 stations, but one of them I'm going to need a repeat, please. So I do copy Kilo Charlie 0, Kilo Papa Victor Randy, and Kilo Echo 0, Yankee Bravo Oscar Lyle. The first station checking in from Bear Mountain. If you could call again with your call sign, please.
Call sign is Kilo Foxtrot 0 Lima Golf Victor KF0 LGV Ross on the 85.
Thank you, Ross. I have Kilo Foxtrot 0 Lima Golf Victor. Thank you for your patience. Next stations, please, with Bear Mountain. Hearing none, let's move back East River and take late check-ins, please. East River.
KD0 Zulu Papa, Glenn and Sioux Falls. KD0ZT.
Copy Kilo Delta 0 Zulu Papa. Good evening, Glenn. Thank you, sir. Any other stations, late check-ins, East River, please. Hearing none, let's move back West River. Taking late check-ins, any station, West River, please.
Echo 5 Oscar Alpha K5OA Larry 94. Foxtrot 0 Lima Golf Victor KS0 LGV Ross on the 85. Wondering if you can hear me better. I was on narrow band, switched to wide band. Any better?
And on that go-around, I copy Kilo Echo 5 Oscar Alpha Larry and Kilo Foxtrot 0 Lima Golf Victor. The first check-in from Bear Mountain was more clear for me in Sioux Falls. Ross. Calling next station, please. Late check-in, West River.
Copy KE50 Oscar Alpha Larry in 94.
I do apologize. That transmission occurred right during a repeater ID. If you could say your traffic again, please.
Echo 5 Oscar Alpha. Kilo Echo 5 Oscar Alpha, Larry in Rapid City 94.
Kilo Echo 5 Oscar Alpha. Larry, thank you, sir. And last call for late check-ins, West River, please. Hearing none, taking late check-in statewide. Any station statewide, please. Hearing none, and for ID purposes, this is November 4, Lima Delta Bravo, calling the Wednesday night South Dakota Link Net. KB0WSV and 4LDB, please copy my routine. An abbreviated report for 23rd of May, 10th day, and there was no pieces of traffic, or I'm sorry, correction, there was one piece of traffic included in this report. How copy? I do apologize. It's 45 check-ins tonight and one piece of traffic, over. And thanks to the couple of West River stations for their patience. I picked up your calls. Thank you. This is November 4, Lima Delta Bravo, and I'll now be securing the South Dakota Link Net. We'll meet again next week at the same time. This is N4LDB, returning the repeaters back to normal amateur use. 73, everybody, and keep an eye on the weather. There's some storms moving up through Nebraska, as most of you know, into south central and western South Dakota. Be safe and have a great rest of your week. 73.
This is the W0BLK controller. The state link is down.